Hello everybody again and welcome to another episode of Stock Talk. I am your host Mike, and with me is the favorite ninja Kage. What's going on?
Hey there.
We got a decent show planned for you today. Thank you to all that subscribed. Would we pick up like 7 or 8 new subscribers in the past day? That's pretty good in the last 24 hours. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. And this show is good because of you, not us, because of you. The contributions you make and what you do help us be better informative traders all throughout the world. So going on to the first stock we're going to talk about, Kage. Okay, so the first stock we have is AUY. AUY, last tick was $4.41. Yamana Gold, looking at the chart, this actually looks like one of the most decent charts that I have seen in a while there, Kage. And I wonder why it is. It's gold. So what chart would not be better with the poor, say, subpar economic conditions that we are in as far as things that are going on? Are they self-inflicted? Are they just impact of the unfortunate events that have happened the past 2 years? Yes, yes, and yes, and yes. But could have been handled better? Yes. What do you got as far as with this company on StockTwits, because that's where the real traders are at? What do you have on this company? Because I have this chart on this has been fairly decent. You were in May of 21, and that has to do with some of the uptick of people moving more to gold because they knew this was coming. They knew the interest rate hikes, because when you have more injection of dollar Ruskies into the system, you have all your precious metals, cryptos, and things like that. People move towards different places because that's going to go up, because your dollar Ruskies are going to become more worthless as time goes on if this is not corrected. And I don't see it being corrected. What do you have from StockTwits? Because that's where the real traders are at.
I'm seeing a lot of bulls for this stock.
I would hope so.
But there are a few bears. Which one do you want me to cover first?
Let's do the happy news first. Why not? Entertain me.
All right then. This is from BN Manager. He says, AUY, kind of annoying by the DXY bounce plus few days. Gold/silver stocks are compressing nicely. I can't miss the next move. Literally my golden ticket for rescuing my account.
Yes.
I'm biased upside.
No, you're not biased, my friend. You are exactly right on this one.
Yeah, he's also got a couple of other stocks that he's also listing, I think, that were gold-related, I think.
That trader is a smart trader. He is probably one of the ones that rode the uptick on the 5 and change. These types of stocks, as well as the biopharmas, are the ones you want to move to, as well as the crypto and the cryptocurrency trading stocks. Those are going to save you, as well as natural resources and things like that. Anything physical. Just because of what is happening with the current... let's just call it Mr. 33% here, as well as your other areas. Going into, because we didn't give a description of what would they do, they engage in the production of gold, silver, and copper. So they're not just doing gold, Kage, they're doing silver and copper. It operates through the following segments: the El Penon Canadian Malartic, and Jacobinia and Minera Florida, and Cerro Moro and other mines in corporate and other. The company was founded by Peter Marone July 30th, 2003, and is headquartered in Toronto, Canada. So what else do you have as far as sentiment there?
There's not really much more to be said. I mean, this is gold, and gold has always been valuable, and people are reflecting it for today as far as today is concerned. But yeah, they're like... they're saying the dollar's failing, inflation looks like gold bounced of a nice support zone.
Yeah, you're between 90...
But Popeye Doe Sailor, he says, AUY, beating mining forecast, and notice they said operating costs didn't go up. Could we see plus $5 next week? $5 next week. Analysts have this at $6 before AUY had such good results and deposits of more cash in the bank. Let's go.
I mean, if you're looking at your dollar value right there, last year you were sitting there, and your dollar now is worth 93 cents compared to where it was last year, and that's not fuzzy math. you can go to your Alphabet channels and they could spin to you as much as they want that I'm wrong. But I can go to other economists and tell you that I'm right from what, and it could be lower than that. I mean, it's getting pretty bad, and as long as they keep the printer presses going, this is going to go south, and especially with all the goodie bag programs that they got out there, and everybody's running around with magic debit cards everywhere all over the world. So it's not looking pretty. So going with what would you say they got going on there? They have the producing mines, and they have which we read, and they also have the strategic assets. We can go over the company has additional strategic assets. They have the Suya in Argentina. It's in the development stage of a high gold project located in the Chubut province in southern Argentina. Expects to produce 250,000 ounces of gold annually. That is huge in itself right there. So what you could do is you could ride this with all the projects that they have, and we're going to name others. As these different projects hit, you could catch those waves throughout this year as the news pops on those. So that's something to look forward to. Looks like in 2020, Yamana signed an option agreement granted privately held Argentina-based portfolio management and capital company CAM for the right to acquire up to 40% interest in the project by fulfilling certain obligations and milestones, mostly relating to matters by paying $31.6 million in various installments into addition of the proportionate expenses before December 31st, 2024. What are some of your bulls saying about this stock? What's the sentiment there? Okay, so this is a bear take or a bull take there?
This one is a bull take. This is from Chaden7. He says, AUY bullish. Bought an ounce physical gold today, not much left. 2 months ago, there was a lot in stock. Today, it was quite the shock as not a lot. Silver also sparse. Cashier said many buyers last couple of days.
Yeah, and that's the thing is you want to stick with your physical because your digital, all the digital stuff is highly manipulated. So if you're new to doing any of this type of trading and everything, stay away from the digital crap. You could lose your anus or your shorts there on that there. But as far as physical, grab your physical as much as you can. Also, with the stock, obviously, it's worth a run there when they're doing the production here like they are. So this is a decent grab. It's just where your buy point. Now everybody's talking about it, so it's not to say let's go ahead and jump aboard. What other comments do you have there?
This is one from Stank Moon or something. He says, Yamada Gold announces preliminary fourth quarter and full year 2021 operating results, exceeding annual production guidance with strong cash flow generation and standout performance at its core operations. Yeah, you had 1.1 million exceeding annual guidance. Fourth quarter all-in sustainable costs are expected approximately 970 per lower than provided guidance cost by quarter and approximately 8% below AISC reported on the prior 3 quarters. Strong cash flows increased balance of more than 65 million, a total year-end cash balance of 305 million. So that was some of the news that popped last week. That's why you saw some of the movement there. Going on to the Alphabet news of what they're saying there. It looks like you have a plug here from MarketBeat. MarketBeat says that they now expect the basic materials company will earn 9 cents per share for the quarter, up from the prior estimate of 7. So they're raising that higher. I wonder why there, Kage. Probably due to a good year.
Probably. Yeah. The production is hitting it out of the park. The production's increased, and they moved forward and had that good term there. So Kage, you got a bull take of a guy pointing out some drilling going on in Canada there. It's a pretty decent take there that has receipts backed up with it.
It looks like his name is Prince. He's got a 2 C's on the end of his name. He says, news from BNCHF Junior Miner Co. that AUY owns 4% of running a huge gold/silver drill in the British Columbia Horseshoe area.
That's interesting.
Project, and he looks like he's got a link to Yahoo Finance and it looks
Oh,
like
you always got to have the
map
Yahoo
of,
on.
where they're drilling.
Yeah, at least you got the map so you guys know where that's going on, so you can go look up his on the twits there. Yamaha Gold currently has 17 analysts covering the stock with an average of a 12-month price target. Was 641. Out of the 17 analysts, 5 are strong, but 8 ratings have buy ratings, 4 have hold ratings. The street high sits at US $8.98, while the lowest 12-month target comes in at 5. So that's all your 17 analysts combined there. The BMO Capital Market notes that they reiterate 8 to 12-month price target, outperforming the ratings, saying the company had a strong fourth quarter production and growth sales are ahead. Me thinks that this one you will see stronger going ahead. I would say that this one, to me, would be an extreme watch as far as take a look at, just because of what we have going forward. I don't see anything positive going forward with printing money. I don't know about you guys, but if someone's producing what they're producing with all the projects they have, I would take a look at it. Do I own shares in this company? Absolutely not. I'm just telling you, stating the obvious of what I am seeing. What else do you got? Anything on there?
Just mostly bulls. There's a few bears here and there, but I think they're just looking at the graphs and everything and thinking that it's going to do a downturn for the next few days. But
yeah, and that some of that
maybe there's a point to them if you want me to.
Yeah, that's fine. You can entertain us with that. All I'll say is that you will see a downturn, and that has to do with promotions. This thing's being, everybody and their dog is all hitting on it, so you know you're going to see some guys try to make some dollarooskies. That's part of the game. If you're not making dollarooskies, then you're not trying. Okay, if you're not, that's the thing. You got to keep on trying to make those dollarooskies all the time. So always gotta go hard on trying to make the dollarooskies, but. That's not saying that you got to find your buy point as well where you're getting in on this, because it is an extreme watch right now. What you got?
This is from Tickeron.
Oh, Tickeron's all over the place on this show, man. That guy. The thing about Tickeron is he always brings his receipts.
Yeah, absolutely. And whether it's good or bad, he always brings the receipts of why he thinks the way he does. And he says
those are the best takes.
Does this make you nervous? AUY's price moved below its 50-day moving average on January 4th, 2022. View odds for this and other indicators on Tickeron. And he's got a little graph that's showing the candles going up and down over time, and it looks like most of the graph that the projected angle is more down more than up.
Okay.
So,
well, we'll see how it plays out. Like I said, towards the end of your week, obviously you'll see the sell-off because the shorts will get out. But as we see all the time after they talk about these do recover. This is a stock that you're going to see you're going to ride different news waves. Obviously, when they come out with different types of what's happening and what's going on with production of mines, you'll ride the good with the bad. But the people that jump in and they get in the good buy point, they'll ride the good waves of the production, and hopefully you'll make some dollarooskies here. And you got 5 of those 17 analysts are holding, which if they got in a cheap buy point, why would they not want to? Considering what we have ahead of us with Mr. 33% just here, not counting all over the rest of the world, which pretty much a lot of people unfortunately are starving. Because that's what happens with these types of things when they're implemented, and with certain things we can't say because we'll get censored. So what do you have on your take, Kage, as far as I gave my side. What do you got?
I think this stock is definitely worth a look, and it's not likely to change very much as far as going up and down in price range, but it's going to be pretty solid overall.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, gold is always valuable, and whoever's mining it and everything definitely is worth looking into to prop them up for a stock, and you will eventually gain gold as a result. in your pocketbook.
Yeah, there you go. You just have it in a different way. So there you have it. So this is another way to change your portfolio around if you would like to do that. So I'm out on this one. We're going to dive into the next one. So we're going to get to it. Okay, guys, this is another stock that we talked about previously and we told you about before. Well, apparently it's back in the game there. VVOS, last tick was $2.37. There's your chart there, year to date, right up in front of you. Going into what would you say they do here if you're new to the show, it's a medical technology company which engages in the development and commercialization of treatment alternatives for patients and sleep disorder breathing. Its solutions also for patients for mild to moderate obstructive sleep apnea. The company was founded by Dave Singh and Susan McCullough, and it's headquartered in Highland Ranch, Colorado. Now, interesting enough on this one, Kage, like I called before, with these therapeutics and pharmaceutical companies like we talk about, they ride their news waves, they hit, and then you get the bounce and you get the coin. You just got to find the right buy point, where you're getting in, and what Dollaruski point fits your needs to where you want to buy. Now, going on to the news, because this is what happened, why we saw some movement in this one. I'm not going to go too much into the website like I did before, because you can go back to when we covered this one. So it looks like this company had a dramatic performance gain to home sleep testing allowed by VVOS to renegotiate its commercial agreement with Sleep Image to dramatically lower the cost and convert the entire diagnostic program from loss leader aimed primarily at stimulating a new case starts with VVOS system sleep apnea treatment for a potential reoccurring revenue center. So there you have it. That's right on the par there, Kage, is the reoccurring revenue. If you're seeing companies like this, that's where you want to look at, is that reoccurring revenue. That's going to secure your investment for growth over time. So going on to StockTwits, because that's where the real traders are at. Kage, what are you seeing as far as bull sentiment there?
This comment is from Skyline Dude. He says, VVOS, he says, bullish. I could be wrong, but I see huge buying of $2.50 call options expiring this Friday. It appears to me MMs are trying to make sure the price goes well above it by expiration. Wouldn't surprise me to see a test of the $3 for Thursday or Friday.
Okay. I have on here as well, VVOS will lease out the Sleep Image ring records to VVOS-trained dentists at a fixed price and include a full month's worth of diagnostic sleep test reports. They've always believed that the pathway to getting more patients into treatment of OSA begins in the essay of inexpensive, highly accurate diagnostic process. With the preciseness of the proprietary sleep image test delivers Kirk Huntsman, chairman and CEO of VVOS, they've coupled with the telemedicine model, and they'll have their collaborative empowering sleep, which allows required medical diagnosis of the OSA remotely. They believe the historic barrier to patients obtaining a clear and medical valid sleep test report has now been eliminated. So there you have it. They got the signal, and they're going above all the noise, and you got it right there. So always remember to have go out throughout the noise, go through a lot of these articles, and get to the signal so you can find out where you're in, if you're in or you're out, or whatever there. What else do you have from the real traders there?
This comment is from Vertical. We've done a couple of his comments before, and he always brings his receipts. And
which is good. You always have to have your receipts.
He always links to his findings, and he says, VVOS, spiked pre-market but sold off into the open. It then ran again during market hours and closed around VWAP. Still one to keep an eye on. Gained 34.5% since first alert. Chart set up in comments, and he's got the link to his
there you go.
chart.
It looks like they had on this article as well, the number of positive OSA tests we're seeing is staggering, demonstrating the potential that is available in the VVOS system treatment OSA. Man, if people would have saw the show about when we did the review on this before, you possibly could have got the benefit of this article when it popped. Because when this article popped, we had some people making some Dollaruskis there. Having now familiarized the VIPs with the prevalence of the OSA and giving them the best way to test for OSA, Our goal will be to use the data to continue to encourage VIPs to get their patients who test positive for OSA into treatment with the VVOS system. Converting the positive OSA test using the HSTs into VVOS case starts in a major focus for the practice of advisors and support personnel at VVOS as they roll out into 2022. So what other good takes do you have there?
How about this from SSDDN? He says, VVOS, first green day with news and a strong last-minute close. Low float, 11.79%. Institutions and CFO holding a generous portion along with market rebounding. Looked like a possible multi-day runner and or further consolidation back to 375 gap. Will and to rescue bag holders at 6.
Yeah, exactly. So any of the people that got in the March and May dump there, they might be rescued throughout the year pending the next news bump. Now, do you get in on this week? You're probably going to see a dive a little bit off because some people are going to make their change and bust a move and bust out. But with that being said, I will say this, like I said, I think I've covered this stock probably 3-4 times maybe. This stock currently at the 237 price is simply too cheap for where it's at. Wouldn't you say there?
I would definitely say this is on the cheap if you want to get in.
Yeah, it's simply too cheap for the price point where it's at. You just have to find your buy point, find out where it's most comfortable for you, and you know, get in when you feel like it's needed for you to get in there. But it is one of those stocks that could carry you over through some hard times as far as things coming up for some of the more rough stocks. Unless you like to play the short game, then do what you're going to do and play what you want to play. I'm just talking about the company. And it is popping, and there's news articles all over through the Google machine this week. So that's just something to keep a heads up on. But you were warned. So what bear takes you have? Do you have any, you don't have hot takers, or you just have like straight up like receipts?
There's some who don't have receipts, but this comment from Monster 100 is interesting. VVOS, today's gain will be disappeared by tomorrow. Take your gain off the table before market close.
That's not bad. What else you got? Anything else?
How about this one from Boomer Wisdom? He says,
the
best part about trading is when you show your sugar baby your profits and he brings over an even hotter friend for you to bang. School tuition and books aren't going to pay themselves.
Whoa. That's an interesting take there. We'll leave that to the imagination of the listeners there for that. You got my take on what I was saying as far as with this stock. What do you have with your take on this one?
This one, I think it's a really good buy point if you want to get in and hopefully make some coin on the sell, maybe.
Yeah.
If you want to do this like long term or something, I probably would be a little bit more hesitant. But for short term, I would probably do it if it was short term.
Yeah, so you're more of the short term on it. I'm fine with long term. It's just where am I getting in at? Obviously, I'm not getting in. If you're going to get in, you're going to get in sometime this week. That's one of the, as far as I'm just not going to get in when everybody's talking about it. So I would say I think we're going to see this climb more as the next news pops going forward on this. I see more positive things happening. I don't think we've seen the last of this one. I mean, we've seen, let's see, 1, 2. This is the 4th pop, I think, within the last year, and we're not even to March of 2022 yet. So going forward, we'll go and check out the next one, and we'll be back. Hey guys, going on to the next stock we have. This is from one of our listeners. We're going to go over his name and everything like that, his YouTube name there, just because this was a good tip-off. I guess there's some rumors going around that a lot of people are talking about this stock here. So credit's going to go to him here in a second. It's called PIXY. We've covered it before. Shift PIXY Incorporated. Last tick was $1.80. Going to the chart here. This chart is as healthy as can be. It's decent. It was riding the highs, but that we can blame some of that on the cue card hype and the alphabets. Going on to credit here, Buck Wild the Skunk writes, he wanted us to talk about the PIXY. He said that apparently there's some buzz of people talking about it. And we appreciate the comment there, Buck, because we did a little bit of investigating there. Looks like we found a plug on staffing industry. Looks like the email, and I'll bring this up with you, Kage, to see if you've heard anything of some of the buzz on the stock twits, because that's where the real traders are at. It looks like there was a Facebook tweet. LinkedIn reported revenue rose 257.2% in its first fiscal quarter ending November 30th. According to the filing with the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission, the increase was due to a combination of 7.2% increase of gross billing, as well as the transition of some of the company's existing clients to staffing revenue recognition, the model of later part of fiscal 2021, according to the filing. Shift PIXY functions as an employment administrator provider, as a Rethink Human Capital subsidy, as well as a staffing provider. That it's Shift PIXY Staffing Incorporated. Staffing revenue includes payroll, cost of worksite employees, while employment administrator service does not. What do you have on stock twits? Because that's where the real traders are at. What do you got on your end?
I'm seeing mostly bulls, and there are just a few bears here and there that are just being all butthurt, I guess.
Okay. Did they bring receipts, or are they just being butthurt?
I think they were just being butthurt. I didn't see receipts from any of them.
Did they get taken in the Q card bounce in between March and April, or what?
Not sure, but no.
Okay. What are some of the, what's the sentiment from who's bringing receipts, as far as what's some excitement that they're seeing?
I think mostly for this one, it's mostly bulls. This comment from Cleaned Out. He says, bullish. PIXY. If you didn't re-enter on yesterday's 1.9 dip, I don't know what to tell you, man. This PIXY is running.
Okay.
Another one from Hatsefu. He says PIXY short's gonna say anything to scare you. They are trapped, and ad gonna get good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like we have. It looks like this plug is on Investor's Place. Looks like we have Fintel's list of new entries. Shift PIXY has catapulted onto the list with a cost of borrow of 111% and short interest, representing more than 27% of the float. So there you have it there. What do you have on? And there's some others that we're not going to talk about there that are on there. What do you have as far as other comments that are relevant?
There was this one up here that I want to
read.
Okay.
We also have another one, Investors Observer, that I'll talk about once you get to that.
There's the one from Vertical. This is for PIXY.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to cover this?
Yes, sir.
He brought his receipts. So.
Yep. Okay.
Says Vertical bullish. He says PIXY had a solid trend during market hours.
Mm-hmm.
The trend in the daily chart is also looking good. It could not close over the 1.75 level, but can still be considered strong. One to watch the next days and weeks. Ran plus 10.3% since first alert. And he's got the chart set up in the comments.
Everything from what I'm seeing speculative is that there's going to be a takeoff in this. You know, whether that plays out, there's a lot of buzz. I'm not seeing, and this is based off the Google machine, which we don't want to be on that end where the news pops, because then it's already too late. But the sentiment going forward on this one is that we are going to see some pops there as far as that goes. It looks like, let me go through some research here. I think I found something about a major trigger. Why? Okay, so this might bring some of the people at ease there. The major trigger, he says, why you're going to see some movement here is the corporation recently declared intent to join the metaverse, which is a surprising turn of events. Shift PIXY Labs, the company's subsidy, will lead the new venture through the customer loyalty program that will immerse consumers in a mixed and argumentative reality experience testing of every consumer market legacy with tradition. Over the past few days, Shift PIXY's lab official Twitter account has also updated followers on the project. So we could follow over to the Twitter page, which I'll go and do, and I'll see some of I'll go over. I'll cover that end if you want to keep on covering the twits. But as for that, there is that. The loyalty program supports, as far as it says, with Dude Rudy, Bunny Grub, Nacho Nukes, Ghost Kites, DoorDash, Grubhub. Therefore, it's worth watching. So they're partnering up with that as well. So I'm gonna go over to the tweeter. I don't really like to because I'm not a big fan, but I keep it on my fridge. I like it there, and I'll go to it sometimes. So we'll go on to that feed because sometimes that info pays off there. So we'll go over there and see what we got, and then we'll be back here in a second. And then Kage is going to look over anything else he sees on the twits. Guys, so some of this news, obviously, it's about 9 hours old, but if you are watching this now, it'll be probably about 18 hours old by the time you see this here. Looks like they had 9 hours ago, the labs tweeted, the NFT component to the gamified loyalty program they're building, a community, they're expanding the ways they engage consumers, creating value through experiences that drive engagement. So if they're getting involved with that, that's definitely huge there, and you were going to see the pop. So where are we at on this chart again? I'm going back here. Obviously, there was some concern. I remember you were talking about Kage with some of the bag holders trying to recover. I would think that you're going to see some recovery there, especially dealing with some of the heavy hitters they have on here, and as well as your NFTs and the gaming aspect of that, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
What did you have on your end there before I go through some of these other tweets they have on their feed there?
Mostly positive for this stock. Like this one from Evergreen Park. He says, PIXY bullish. This was up right at 40%, including AH, and had close to 35M in volume, and closed in AH at 1.80. Tomorrow can't get here soon enough.
Looks like too. They were tweeting yesterday about Nacho Nukes. It's going to be interesting how that one plays out as well. That going forward, also as well as some of the other heavy hitters like I discussed before, like I mentioned that they were going forward with. Oh, we have someone calling into the show. It looks like we have the newest member of the show. Let's answer that there. Mikey! We have another Mike. There he is. There's 3 on the show now. We're back to 3 now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you are live on the show. Okay, so guys, I found a plug on startupinfo.com. This is going to help the stock going forward because there is buzz like we were tipped off to, saying that we could see some movement in this, and I do think we're going to, because this article is going to help. It brought actually more people to the stock. Just basically, it went into discussions of the platform helps people manage part-time businesses. It basically went into everything we know about the stock. Is all. It just put out a plug for them and discussed things we knew about, like giving them people part-time work like DoorDash does in the region, and says they're going to give access to health insurance. I don't know if that's just as far as the general like everybody else does kind of thing. But yeah, everything helps to get the word out. What do you have, Kage, on your end from stock twits to where the real traders are at?
There's a couple of people saying hold the line for this stock because it's number 1 on trending, I think.
Yeah, well, holding the line is good. The only problem with holding the line is if you're not locking in your profits. If you're not locking in your profits, then you're cheating yourself out of dough. You always got that's a Ricky Gutierrez rule, is always to lock in your profits there. Wouldn't you say there, Michael?
Yeah, it's a good idea too. Seeing that obviously we're having shortages on work, so
yeah,
concept's good.
What's what do you have, Kage, on stock twits to where the real traders are at? Do you have any more bull or bear takes that stick out with receipts or not?
I don't really see any that stick out right now. How about this from the Assassin? He says, PIXY bullish. Reason why I like it. My moon indicator is
saying ready to go and a cup on the daily.
Moon indicator, huh? Ooh.
He's got a little graph showing his findings. So.
No, at least he brought the receipts there, right there, Mikey.
Yeah.
You always got to bring your receipts all the time. You can never give a hot take or anything like that without showing your receipts. So always bring your receipts. Mike, on the other hand, he always brings his receipts, doesn't he?
All the time.
All the time. What do you got on your end there, Mike? What have you found?
Like I was saying, it's good. Seems like the concept's solid. I just want to see what they have on in terms of what they're offering in terms of the healthcare.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Things like that. I think that would make a huge difference. If
they could do something different compared to some of the other companies out there, that's going to make them different. That's going to be.
I'm skeptical on that one, though.
Oh, me too. But if there was something different than, different than some of these other platforms, that could change a difference in the stock price. Now, it's at where it's at, which is a hard place to be. Not a lot of companies can say where this one's at. So that's the other thing, you guys. That's the other thing here, is that you don't get to $1.83 just by being Mr. Thank You Very Much stock. So it's come a long way, and it's been there just because they've done what they've done and they've said what they were going to do. So, okay, guys. So with final analysis on this one, I would say find your buy point where you're getting in on. I still think I'm still solid on this one, like I was in December. I do think you're going to see more movement, and you also saw I'm just seeing lots of online activity about it. So it's going to be good for the shorts, that's for sure. Whether in the next month or so, we'll see what happens and what other news develops. But this is one that you could definitely ride the news wave for sure. It's just where are you getting in? That's your question of where you feel more comfortable. If you're new, obviously paper trading is where you need to be. You don't need to be messing around with volatility and things like that. But if you're experienced, this thing looks great. So what do you have there, Kage?
Yeah, I would have to say this stock is pretty solid. There's a lot of the things people are saying about it, and a lot of the growth looks like. So you can definitely ride one for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure you know your buy point, and be sure to lock in your profits, and making sure that you actually get something back on your investment.
Mm-hmm.
So.
What about you there, the G?
I think I say watch for competition. I think they have a good leg up in terms of timing and everything like that with the workforce and the state that it is. But as with everything, it's dependent on the economy. But especially if folks decide to go back to work, which it doesn't look like they're going to anytime soon.
No, and the other thing.
But if they start doing it, then this stock could change pretty drastically.
The other thing that people are not looking at is what's going on in China with all the lockdowns. We don't know what the next variant is, and I'm not trying to go on the fear porn or anything like that, guys. I'm just saying that if we go forward with more of this, I'm not thinking that's I mean, who knows what could happen? Anything could happen. I mean, but going forward, you could see more of this where you're still seeing people stay with work, and they're not going, a lot of people aren't going back to the office because of what's going down. Or there's some places where I'm seeing where they're saying we're going forward with whatever, and just because we're not going to let this go full tank food, because it's only because they see the 2022 midterms, and then after that they'll go back to whatever, they'll do whatever. But they're just trying to get themselves elected, and so they'll go whichever the wind blows and then change the direction. So, and that's not me trying to get a hot take to get people to listen to that. That's just me saying, I'm just saying in the tea leaves, there's two different directions you could go. You can't take that off of the table right there. That's always on there for you. So, but that's all I got on this one. What, you guys got anything to add on this one?
Yeah, smoke bomb.
What's your out sign, Mike?
I say go for it, dude.
Just
Looks
go.
good for now.
Okay. Don't make it a dog show. And Mike's always said he's good for it. So good night now.